What's going on, good people? I'm just going to put some Talon grips on my Gen 4 Glock 17, the summer special. So I figured I'd make a quick video. If you're not familiar with the summer specials, they're actually the Gen 4s that came with the front slide serrations. Other than that, it's your basic Gen 4. The grip on here is okay, but I like super aggressive grips, and this really doesn't offer as much as I would like. So I wanted to get something a little more aggressive. So the Talon grips, they come in a Granulate, which is basically like skateboard tape, and they come in a rubberized grip. This is my old Gen 3 19. It has a rubber grip on it, or the rubber Talon grips. The rubber is okay, geared more towards concealed carry because it's not as aggressive. For those of you that don't wear like a t-shirt, this would be the better option. I always wear a beater or some kind of t-shirt, so I'm not worried about the grip touching my skin and tearing my skin up. But what I am worried about is the grip itself. If you have something really aggressive, sometimes it can catch on your clothes and it can lift your shirt, or it can start to wear on the inside of your clothes because it's going to be rubbing when you're wearing it throughout the day. So something like this to me is the best option, which is silicone carbide. My grip's a little dirty. I beat the hell out of my competition gun. But one of the downsides of this, it's pretty much like skateboard tape that you put on. One of the downsides is that you can't take it off. But it's really aggressive. It allows me to make sure if I'm holding the gun correctly, the gun's not going to move. Same thing with the skateboard tape. Really, the advantage of this is that, one, these are really inexpensive. Depending on when you get them, you might get them between $15 and $20. The other advantage is that if you should not like it, you can just take it off and you haven't altered your gun permanently. If you stipple your gun, you've altered it permanently, so which could affect your ability to resell it. And then also, eventually, the stippling will get to the point where it doesn't have the bite that it had when it's new. This, you can just peel it off. I had some on here before that I put about a year ago, and I'm just taking them off and I'm putting a new pair on now. So to me, this is really the best option. I do like the silicone carbide the best, but it's just, you have to make sure that you want that on there before you go that route. So to put it on, it's pretty simple. They give you an alcohol pad and you just swab just to make sure you don't have any grease or oil on the gun and make sure it's pretty clean. There's some residue on here now, but that's from the adhesive that they used from the Talon grips that I had on here previously. I'm not going to work and get all that off. It's just adhesive. I'm going to put more adhesive on it right now, so I'm not too concerned about that. All the guns have been safety checked. No magazine, nothing in the chamber. So what we're going to do is put it on. So what you do to put it on, I'm just going to run through it real quick before we actually do it. You're just going to line it up on the left side. Make sure you're not covering your mag catch. And you can see it goes right over the Glock logo. You'll wrap it around, and then it'll go right in the finger grooves. This is the Gen 4, so it still had finger grooves. You'll adhere it to the finger grooves and then tuck it under this first panel, and then that'll be that. So there's some adhesive on here. You just peel the backing off, but they give you the alcohol to wipe it down. After you do that, you take a blow dryer and you just heat it up. They say heat it up to about the heat of a cup of coffee. And then at that point, you can kind of work it, reposition it, make sure there aren't any bubbles, make sure there aren't any edges that are sticking up. Then they recommend you repeat that a few times, and then you're done. It's as simple as that. So if I can find an edge to start with, we'll get this thing going. You see, I'm struggling. Trying to find an edge to start it. There we go. I thought that was it, maybe not. All right. Excuse me. So I'm starting on the left hand side of the gun, what they're calling the left anyway, where your mag release typically is. Just gonna line that up over the logo. I'm trying to do this so it's in the camera in frame too, which is hard. All right, I think right about there is fine for me. I'm just going to start to press it in a little bit. Now, it's not permanent once you do it just like this. If you need to move it around, you can. So I don't care if it's perfect or what it looks like. This is kind of a shit hits the fan gun, so it doesn't need to be pretty. Then I'm going to start to take the rest of this adhesive. This part can be tricky because there's all these little smaller sections that you need to get the backing off of. I wish I had longer fingernails. This would be a lot easier. All right, so there's that part. We need to do these 3 other little wings. There's that one. All right. All right, so you can see that's starting to come around. So now what we're going to do is take and wrap that around the back strap. Same thing, start to flatten it out. Flatten out all the little cuts. And some of it will come back up, but that's fine. Once you start to heat it and work it in, it'll stay down. Then we'll get the other panel. Same thing, making sure on that other side you're not covering up your mag catch and limiting its ability to function by covering it up or blocking it altogether. So I'm going to mash that down. Mash these wings. And then what I'm going to do is start wrapping these fingers. Now with the finger grooves, they actually shouldn't have done that. I pushed a little too hard on this side. The finger grooves, what you'll do is you'll tuck it underneath this side of the panel and then smooth this back down. All right, so I'll wrap this first one around. Just gonna lift that up, tuck it under. And I'll wrap the second and the third and do the same thing. Lift it under, or lift it up, tuck it under, and then the last one. So lift and tuck, and then we'll just press this back down. Same thing, just pressing all the rest of the pieces down. Again, I'm going to go back over that mag catch because that's very important. If you cover that up, you need to do a reload, you're going to have a bad day. All right, so you can get an idea right there what it's pretty much going to look like. And this is, you can hear it versus the rubber. You can see how easy my finger is sliding over that too. In this, yeah, when I bite down, it's not sliding much. In my hands, it feels a lot better too. All right, so now what we're gonna do is just take the blow dryer, heat it up a little bit, and continue to work the edges to make sure there's no bubbles, make sure none of the edges are standing up. Let's get our blow dryer. I actually didn't have a blow dryer when I first did this the first time, so I got one from the dollar store. You don't need an expensive one. And then we'll turn this thing on. I'm just going to put it on low. Let's put it on high. There you go. Again, you're just heating it to the temperature of a cup of coffee now. It's not, you're not trying to melt the rubber. Work that in, we'll get the back. Same thing with the right side. Get our finger grooves. All right, so my camera cuts off after 10 minutes, so it cut off. But you basically get the gist of it. While it was off, I went back over it a couple more times with the blow dryer. don't know if you can see, but that's your finished product there. Only takes a couple minutes to do. I get the camera to focus. There we go. But again, that's super aggressive, which is what I like, because then the gun isn't going to move around in my hand at all. And if you've never felt these, once you really clamp down on the gun, it's not going to move. But that's it. Again, Talon grip's definitely something that I think is worth the money, because it's only a few dollars. It doesn't permanently alter the gun. You can always take them off. And once they start to wear out, you can just get another pair like I just did, instead of having to shave your gun down again and try to re-stipple, buy another grip, or I guess you can technically put some silicone carbide over the top of the other ones, but the process certainly isn't going to be as easy as putting on some Talon grips. And I just bought them from Amazon, so it's not even like I had to go to a specialty store. They were hard to get. So either way, if you have any questions, post below.